मेरा 3 साल तक पूरी फ्लाइट चलाने पे ये सुन रहा हूँ मतलब और ये ना करवाना है सब कोर्स तो सब मेरी गलती नहीं है और मेरी गलती होती तो मैं अगर आप बताऊँ और मेरी मुझे काले गलती करवाने तो मैं सोच रही है सर आप मेरी प्रॉब्लम सोचो मैं इस चक्कर में नहीं देखो क्या है मैं तो साइड कर दूंगा सर में मेरे साथ अंदर प्रॉब्लम है ये इस प्रॉब्लम आप समझिए मैं जिस दिन रिजल्ट आया उसी के बाद कर काटना सर ये तो मामले का ऐसा लगा पापे भी नहीं आइए ना ये जवाब में क्या करना चाहिए उसके हिसाब से क्या ये तो कल ही आपकी होगा करने कर रहे हैं मेरी वीडियो योगा नाम है मत डालना आज बड़ा कैसे करते हैं सर मैं आपका ऐसा नहीं मुझे लेवल में ये सीनियर हो जाएगा आप कितना रहेगा आपके पास बहुत बार मुझे पता है मैं 12 तारीख से कहीं पर एमएससी ही तो मैं वहां गया 1500 रुपए क्लास का मुझे क्लास में लोग हम मुझे बना कर दिए कि हमारे पास कर दिए कि मैं No after the Mario in the way, I was to the Stefano, I was to the Angiota, carry si può una pratica per calcolare Gurugram उन्होंने क्या बोला मैं सही ये उनकी तरफ से मेरे पास मेल है कुछ ग्रुप का सीखना अब वो मैंने अपने लोगों को बोला कि उन्होंने देखा कि एनओसी ये वो बोला कि जब हमारे पास कुछ इन्फॉर्मेशन आएगी तो हम करेंगे मुझे नाम है तो करवा रहे हैं ग्यारह हो गई मैं 11 बजे पहुंचा 3 बजे आया मैं 10 मिनट में क्या होना बैठो बैठो साढ़े 11 के कुछ तो लग रहा सर सब तो
स्टार्ट कर दो Good morning to everybody. So today I have to discuss about the block number 3, unit number 10. That is your HRD in industrial relations. Is a part of your MMPH 002 Human Resource Development, block number 3. And then after that, I have to discuss about the unit number 11, that is emerging trends and practices, which is a part of our block 4. So first, try to understand what are the contents of the unit 10 in HRD in industrial relations. That is, first we have to try to understand the introductions, then defining the industrial relations, defining the HRD OD, then what is the linkages between HRD, organizational development and industrial relations linkages, then what are the pressures of change, need for the integration of HRD and HR, then development approaches of the industrial relations, and some of the successful HRD, what are the approaches behind it, and some of the mechanisms for development. So in the unit number 10, it contains these things. So first, see the industrial relations. In short, we are saying the IR in India are the equated with the collective bargaining, interpretation of the rules, labor laws, court cases, problems, and indiscipline, etc. So basically, in the IR, it is separate. Under the HR, there are separate divisions are there, industrial relations. So basically, they are dealing with what are the protection of the management and for the protection of the employees. So for that sale is this division is working basically, and they have some labor laws and what are the court cases, but arbitration cases or any sort of company-related laws or something, they are dealing. Basically, the lawyers are dealing these things in these relations. Most of they are in HR background, and definitely they have to law area. They know a little bit more the area. So see some of the functions there, and why it is not lot of functions are suffering in the industrial relations. It is because of the lack of planning is not there. Company is not taking the proper planning, so that's why sometimes it is delayed, and budgetary problems and other things. Means basically the company are not focused on this area. Basically, industrial relations. Sometimes it is creating problems, and not clear-cut policies also not there sometimes, and then there is no strategies. Because of that, sometimes problems are there. So that's why there is written that unfortunately, both the HRD and IR have been considered as a different functions. But it should not be because basically the functions and there has been a little attempt for the practitioners also. So it should be merged. Basically, HRD should merge with the, it should be managed by the IR functions. And there's a proactive manner you have to do it. When we are focusing on the HRD, so that's why the IR is also to be taken as a main functions because any eventuality regarding the laws they can take after. So some proactive manner is required basically. Then defining the relations basically. According to Dunlop, they are saying in at any one time, its development is registered as a comprise of certain actors. And the ideology which binds the IR systems. It suffers, as I said, it is suffers because of the lack of planning. In addition to their obvious conflict of interest, the parties in the IR have been interests, standards, and the values in common which they either bring to IR industrial relations from the wider society or the develop once they are involved in the IR. To emphasize on the fact is not to deny that stability and the instability, conflict, and cooperations have equal claim to the investigations. So HRD is mainly for the concern about the developing the competencies where the technical skills, managerial skills, and the behavioral skill to be developed among the organizational individually and among the organizational process through this single process. So typical mechanism for the facilitating the HRD in the organizations are this is basically through the performance appraisals and training, feedback, some performance counseling, organization development, then your employees' welfare and quality of work life, etc. So all are the mechanism, or we can say for the facilitating the HRD systems to run the HRD in a smooth manner, so that all these things are as the tools, the supporting tools of the HRD. Organization development as a practice field, which is based on the discipline of organizational behavior, their psychology, and the administrative science. And it developed a new behavioral science, finding about the employees' motivation and the organizations were applied by the managers to solve the organizational problems like poor communications, inadequate integrations, low commitment, and the inadequate employee development. So all these areas are to be developed. Basically, it's all are related to behavioral science because the communication about behavior, integration is not there. Their deployment, not proper communicated, and the employees are not committed also. So that things are required. Specifically, those who are you have to identify the employees who are not willing to do or not integrated properly. So that employees are to be trained, and some those who are inadequate employees, basically the not sufficient skills. So focus should be there, and they have to develop as early as possible so that they can contribute towards the achievement of the objectives of the company. And HRD there how to link, that is HRD, OD, and IR should be linked. Linkages should be there. Means all are it should be integrated. Otherwise, they are integrated focuses. So approaches should be there to develop the human resources, their competencies, motivations, and the cultures. So both all these things are facilitated uh, uh, to the organizations and interns HRD and interns to the company organizations. So I industrial technology, technological changes, and strategic shifts, human process changes, etc., are the for the basis of the linkages part. IR is a specialized function that evolved to protect the basically interests of the organizations, as I said earlier, and for the and as well as the working class, those who are working. So for them, so some protection is required, and should be definitely built lawfully. So primary focus for the peoples, and primary focus the organizational development is on the organizational capacities, capabilities, and the focus, primary focus of the IR industrial relations. So protect their labors and all these things. So there is a lot of HRD and OD can contribute in the area of industrial relations. Managers are becoming increasing dissatisfied with the industrial policies, IR policies, which are normally static. There is no changes basically, and are based on the safety of law, some cautions, and fear of the unions. Because sometimes I hear people, those who are working in the industrial relations department, they are reluctant to fight with the unions, or maybe they are not highlighted or not appreciate the problems of the laborers, and they are not taking as a front line. I mean, um, their grievances are not taken as a challenges. In that way, they are sometimes not taking any advancement. So some proactive actions are required so that the policies to be changed, so that the higher department should be strengthened more, so that the company can be, as and when it is required, they can give a good decisions, and remove the what are the barriers and problems. They can remove the things when it will be required. So changes that are relevant both are the management and the unions. So and both the areas are required to tremendous change is required. Union also to be cooperative. Then only it is possible participations, and another thing, the inclusiveness are very much required. Then overall picture to be advocate is what is the company is likely to do, and what are the future of the employees, how they will be well-being, that part are factors. So some of the changes that are relevant both the management and the unions. So because the emergence of the new technology and march towards the computerizations is increasing, it is creating a new pressure on the management as well as the union also, because those who are old, I mean the middle-aged employees, or maybe the 10 years, 15 years, they are already habituated with the old system, traditional systems. They are reluctant to um, change their pattern of the work patterns, style of their work. They are not easily adopted the new technology because of the some fear, or maybe the loss of jobs. So a lot of reasons are there. Um, so this is the area to be developed both way in the employees management side Management is also to be see that this is the area that technology is growing very fast in a very tremendous speed levels. So technology advancement of the technology is very much needed. The new workers is causing anxiety to both the management and the unions. Problem is when any employees are joining the company, first of all he would like to see the comfort levels and as well as the learning also, because that atmosphere and that environment he's searching where he can comfortably do the work and learn the things, new things. But however, if he feel or if he, some fear is there that HRD or industrial relations are not so much strengthened or not facilitated the things, so maybe they will create a depression. Depression will start, and some of the anxiety it can be built up. So to reduce these things, you have to have a good atmosphere, and environment should be clear enough so that the mind should feel good and give their maximum capacity. They can develop their capacity and they can contribute as much as possible towards the company. So, what are the mechanisms? Now it is well associated, appreciated both the management and the unions in terms of the delays in the problem of solving. Because when something are delayed, maybe 1 month, 2 months, that solution is not coming. So everybody will appreciate it that something has to be required in that. In terms of delays, the problem is so. Sometimes the cost is also important. You have to see the cost, so that should be cost effective and some process to be started as early as possible. So innovative personal practicing your and the quality of work life programs is there. It's really practiced by the many organizations and their impact on the improved business performance. So you have to have a see that how to improve their capacity and so that they can it should be improve their skill enough. They can easily contribute without minimum guidance, and the productivity should be at par with the required desired values. So this is the way we can improve the business performance. And sometimes the pressure from the government and the workers' participation in the management is required, because you see the workers' participation is very much needed because they have a lot of ideas, and maybe at the same time they have some grievances or some problems are also there. They have to express, they have to allow to express their problems, and the management has to sit together and sort out the things which are the best fit for them and for the organizations also. So because organizations are based on the employees only, because the employees and the workers are not happy enough and they are not comfortable and their participation is less, then management cannot do anything. Even it will be very much obstacles, barrier of a improvement of the overall organizations it will affect. So management cannot do alone the things. So you have to take a part of the employees' participation is very much important. Even they should allow to sit in the decision-making process also. Some of the representative from the unions and from the workers, head of the workers groups, they should come and join the critical decision-making process. They should also join what the company is likely to think about, likely to do the future perspectives. So definitely it should be beneficial for the employees also as well as the organizations profitability. Considering all these things, that's why it is a government pressure also. The participation of the workers in the management decision process are very much required. So now to see the approaches, what are the approaches of the industrial relations? So competencies building in the major actors, industrial relations like the management at the different hierarchy levels, and the unions at the different hierarchy levels, and the key government officials concerned with these aspects. So in all level, even in the management, there are top level managers also. There are executive trainings, management trainings, and some workman training, supervisory training. There are a lot of training program is there. So for the competency building, so that different level, different are programs are there, and the workers training is also there. So different levels. People are skill trainings, there are communication trainings, there are behavioral patterns, attitudes, and ethics. So there are so many things are there. Programs you have to prepare for that, and so that different programs are eligibility based on the eligibility and competency build up can be so that they can have a better idea to do these things, how to do it, and at the same time you have the adaptation of the new technology, because what are the technology are there. They have to take a maximum utilizations of the latest technologies. And the technology is basically the tools which is helping to do the work very comfortably and with the accuracy also. So productivity also to be increased automatically, because when you are taking as a technical technology also are involved, so definitely the speed and quality definitely will be improved. So that's why the most of the industries, most of the companies are focused on the competency building, even top all levels. They are maybe 1 month programs, maybe 2 month programs, or maybe the weekly programs are there, batch by batch. Everybody have a rotational way. Everybody should be trained accordingly. Some classroom teachings or programs, or maybe the field programs are there. Expert consultant or expert calling by they are invited for these lecture sessions and things, and the company so that the employee can be developed and the skill can be improved. So development of the process, forecasting the octopact in value. This basically the stands for openness, and your confrontations, and T for your trust, C for collaborations, and E for your authenticity and their competencies building. So this is the impact. In short, you can see the impact. So where it will be strengthened, because these things is a part of the development. So some proactions here actually see there should be openness. Openness means the allowing to sit in the their voice should not be the employees' voice are important. They should give some good ideas. They can generate some of the ideas, and allow them to take some proactions also. And then confrontation. You have to allow the confrontations where the things how to deal with these things, and some autonomy also required, autonomy. Okay, you can do it, and allow them to they are performing the particular area. Trust is also really important. So because if I not trust my employee, then how to he grow? Maybe some mistake will be there, but still they have to develop the thing. So trust is one of the important, and collaborations, because everything will be collaboratively. There will be interventions of the top management are required. They show their interest also, and authenticity. definitely some it should be authenticate, it should be relevant, and should be based on the fact and requirement, present trend requirement also to be. So this is the way the competency building can. Then development of the building middle management, and they are the competencies building and the management, the main knowledge about the rules of the workplace. That's why you see most of the companies they have some procedure, what procedures are there. Suppose what should the framework, what are the procedures, what are it is defined everything. Some of the what are the standards and what the timing, even in the timing to what are the code of conducts, everything. Should be some rules, should be some, this is called the rule books basically. So any workplace there should be some rule books should be, yes, and that rule books, what is written there, that the knowledge somebody has to read carefully and or explain if some controversy or ambiguities are there that should be sorted out. So knowledge should be at par with everybody should know what are the rules of the workplace. That is number one. Then understanding about the customers and the practices in relation to dealing with the employees and the unions. So management, middle management are important because they are the accelerate the everything. They are executing based on this instruction. Everybody things have to be executed, so or implemented. So they are too very knowledgeable. Their knowledge should be at par with the. So some of the what are the practices and how to deal with the employees and the unions that and even in the customers also. So they have to understand the things and they have to behave accordingly, and what are the gaps are there that has to be fulfilled. Then knowledge about the legal framework of the IR. Yeah, this is very important. Most of the cases it has observed that maybe the field officers, he is in the field, but he is not aware of the industry relations part, and maybe they don't have much time also to read all these things or instruction whatever the things they may not be aware of this. But even though he is in the part of this work, so then management they have to so HRD basically to develop, because here you are talking about the HRD in practice. So it should be some document. So document should be there. There should be some framework should be there. What are the laws, and if the situation will come, how to deal it. What are the law points are there, legal points. What are the articles? Which articles are to be followed if that situation is there. So and what are the standards are given? Basically, the standards, do's or not do's. So these things are clear knowledge required by the middleman. Knowledge about the history and background of the union and union leaderships in the organization, because this is really very very important. When you are dealing as a middle management levels, you are dealing with the unions, so you should know before discussions. You should know their background of things, how this union, what they has found, what their objectives of the unions, and so far what they have did, what the performance they have done. So everything is a background, and their histories are very much required. Then only you can have a mutual respect, and meeting can be fulfilled, and you can also convey this way respectfully. And what the union leader also should be knowledge enough what the company is there, what the company's missions and objectives, what the company is likely to planning to do all these things, and how what the way it will be benefited for all if the employee, if the what are the profit margins are, expenses for the employees, and they are really looking after the welfare of the employees or not. So all these viewpoint before the discussions, or anything, that knowledge Indian leader has to provide. Otherwise, there will be argument and conflict on it. There's no clear-cut discussions will be there, and the outcome will not become known. So knowledge is required. If the both the parties are, suppose the management and middle management levels and the union leaders are knowledge enough, they know the each other's background, each other's profile, each other's objectives, then mutually, definitely some solution can come. Trust will come, basically. So that's why the leadership skill are very much required both ways. Or everybody should have some leadership skills. Another thing, the knowledge about the emerging environments in there, that is another part. Because what is going on in your surroundings and within the environment, externally and internally, that also you have to see economic conditions of the country, economic conditions of the world, and the market, everything, your product qualities, everything, and how the customers are accepting or not. So that and what are the new range of products are coming in the market, or even in the your competitive other companies also. So that viewpoint are also required. So that knowledge, basically, idea is the markets market within the market area. What are the emerging issues are coming up? That knowledge you should have as a middleman. All these things are as a part of your development of middle management. We are actually talking about the development of the middle management. What type of competencies are required? Even in the training modules are to be prepared accordingly during the training period. So within the module, like this will be there. And then it will be not only that, some latest practices, that is the latest state of the art practices of the other leading companies. That practice is also to be hired and that also be followed also if it is fit for these organizations. So these things. And even in the other industries. Skills. There's another part, the practice is the skills. Because skills are basically it is a diagnosis the problems and tools for the diagnosis. Because if you have a skill enough, very easily you can diagnose the problems. Because if you don't have a skills, that professional attitude is not there. You cannot search the identify the thing. First things you cannot identify the things, problems, and if you are not identifying the problems, or you can say that you are not diagnosing the problems, then you cannot take the solution also. So that skill you should have very easily, quickly you have to diagnose the problems. So, and then that skilling is required for resolution of the grievance. Because you see the employee side, even in the organizations, any employee, what about the grievances that are in terms of promotion, in terms of work cultures, in terms of many things. So that solutions, that skill how to clear the grievances as early as possible, the good alternatives, then that skill has to be developed by the HRD has to take a role for this. Negotiation. This is another skill. This is the negotiation because negotiation is very difficult jobs until analysts are not knowledgeable. Because during the negotiations, you have to keeping in mind of the organizational objectives. Suppose you are in middle management levels, you are negotiating with the unions or negotiation with the customers or any things. So there you cannot be biased also because emotions and bias are not being effective. So during the negotiation, you have to careful about the profitability of the company, benefits of the company, and overall positivity. I mean, the things what the solution are giving, it is accurate, and the present conditions are to be fulfilled, and some of the positive targets should be some of the you can say the solution are not to be decline conditions, it will be grow conditions. That part is that is another skill is there. How to deal with the grievances, problems, and how to wake up, how to uh, find out the solutions, better solutions. So that is another area of the negotiation skills. Then interpersonal skills. The another part is how the persons to persons, how to behave it, and how to listen the person's problems, identify the problems, and particular peer relations and all these things, internal relations are required, so that when you give some decisions, he should accept very happily whatever the things are there during the process, during that during the meeting process or any solutions or any. Suppose you are declaring some of the things, your decisions that should be impact with the others, and they should happily accept things. Also, yes, this is a correct decisions. So enormously, everybody has to be in mass. They have to accept the things. So that type of relations, I think, that skills are very much required. When you are saying, when you are demanding, or when you are conveying something, that other sides they are accepting very easily and conveniently. So, and then another thing is respectfully also. They're not pressuring the things. You are not impose the things. However, they are accepting it because of this, because your internal personal skill is very good. That type of skill is also required in the practice of the HRT practices. Attitudes. Another thing is the orientation to positive problem solving, because always should be attitude positive problem solving. Belief systems are also acting in the play of behind it, about the unions and their existence also. Faith in the participative mechanisms. So, what are the discussion process there, the process or the mechanisms are there? Both the party has to be trust and the faith on this mechanism. Yes, that is true. So then only, because you see the, for example, our voting systems, EVM, there the machine through these machines, the voting process are going on, the election process, and both the parties, rivals and the everybody are believe this. So some faith should be there, and otherwise, if any faith is not there, so always it will be a negative mindset will be there. No, no, something is wrong. They have not. So that convincing the things, so solution during the solution process, believe and faith and belief. So that system has to be developed so that the unions are will be happy, management is also happy because that mechanisms are one. So this is the very important. Then some prerequisite is required for successful of the HRD and OD approach. You should have some prerequisite things. What are the things? Policy, then philosophy, and values underlying the actions. So all things are is, required for the as a prerequisite. That is requirement basically. If the policy is not there, there is no philosophy or some of the ideal, whatever the things, that is not underlining clearly. So that is a problem. Then agreed policies, because policy is not just like I am preparing this. What are the policies? It is authenticated by the group. It's all are endorsed by all the parties. That agreed policies are required. Then your internal dynamics of the unions are that meddling, the non-meddling parts. So basically, the agreed policies should be there, so that nobody can pinpoint it. No, it is not my. I have not agreed because that policy I don't know who has made. That type of questions should not be arised. Proactive and geared to problem solving, because proactiveness are very much required. Because if I not proactive, then maybe the density of the degree of the problem will be increased. So before that, when you are solving the any problems, so you have to see the impact, your present and future also, what type of action will be there, and that you have to foresee, and you have to, that accordingly you have to take some proactive actions. So that is the some uh, required is there. Delegation of powers is also important at the different hierarchical levels because uh, you are taking some in the practice, in the HRD practices, you are the head of the particular department, and some problems or any situation has come, and you have to solve these things and you have to give a decision also, but you don't have the powers. You have the ideas, you know what to do it, but still you are waiting the authority to or the approval from the top levels or something. So then it will be a problem. It may be by the time maybe problem will be increased more. So that some sort of delegation of power is also required in the different hierarchy levels based on the positions. You have to take some decisions. Suppose, for example, in the site peoples, in the where the work actually work is performing. I mean, the work is they are in the conditions, the work conditions, and the seniors are sitting in the other places, or maybe the far away, which is not possible. So, what is the situation-based decision-making process? Then, if I not delegate the powers, then you will always have to wait for the seniors only, over the phone or maybe, and because you see, when the actual conditions are going on, when the situations better, who is the present there, he can take the correct decisions, provided they should have a uh, good knowledge about it. He has to capable to take the decisions. So power delegation is power is important. If I not delegate the powers, you cannot take the decisions. Always you have to wait for the that information from the or instruction to wait for the instruction from the higher levels. So that is not advisable basically. Then your interpersonal skills, as I said, is also important. Then accountability for the better human resource management. So accountability, because you are in particular in positions and what accounts are, I mean that is from the audit point of view, you have to be accountable for these things. I mean, that type of things you have to take. You take some risks also, and if right or wrong, basically the right, that should be accounted. Yes, you've done these things, and this much money you have saved. It is cost effective. So that accountability in the end of the year as a performance levels that have to, it should be counted. Yes, he has done these things. He has saved the money in these things, and he has taken that type of decisions at the end of the day. Somebody has to appreciate things. So, and even during the resolution time, during the process also, you have to have some things. So that's sometimes you see the for better that accountability basically you have to towards the best HRM practices that is required. So that's why it's that accountability is required. Then okay, I think another thing is your no ambiguities. Another part is no ambiguities. The second point, there should not be any ambiguities during the process of the practices. There should be clear cut policies, other agreement, everything, and what procedures, everything are clear cut. There should not be any ambiguities. And another point is open mindedness. Very much open mindedness because that's we should not be hidden in your mind. Whatever in your mind, right or wrong, or maybe some confusions, it should be opened up and discussed with the others. You may right or wrong, but presently you are not taking any correct decisions. Fine, no problem. Maybe your viewpoint, your thought process are little different. When you are discussing process, when you are in this process, so, then oftenly you can rectify or correct yourselves. Yes, this is the correct thing, this is the wrong thing, which I have already decided in my mind that is not correct. So you can modify yourselves, you can modify, you can rectify during this process. So open mindedness is it is applicable for everybody, and especially for those who are in the HRD managers, I think, levels. So open-mindedness is very much required. Recognition of the part of the both management and the recognition is very much required. Reward systems. Without recognitions, people cannot be motivated. So recognition is very much required. Even is the manager, the management part, or maybe the union parts. So you have to recognize the things. If suppose the union leaders, he has given a good ideas, or maybe it is benefit for the management and as well as the benefit for the employees also. So that idea has to be taken care, and not only that taken care, that has to be uh, recognized by the management. Yes, he has given a good suggestions. So it has to be maybe in through our appreciations, it has to be through some word themselves. So at least you have to give some thank letters. So thanking letters, all these things, appreciations. So some recognitions should be, or maybe the best idea created by the any employees. So there is some reward systems can be adopted. So all these things are part of the HR practices. Workers and the unions should be prepared to give up restrictive practices, because you see, if you are always in resistance mode or any restrictive type, then maybe the outcomes, I mean, what are the ideas cannot be come out, and creativity will be stopped. So that things should be given, because you see, when you are in the meeting or you are participating, you have to really participate. It doesn't mean you have to silent. You are not giving any ideas or something. Simply you are listening. But whatever in your mind, if it is very good ideas, you have to pass on to the others also. Let them consider or not consider. It is again dependent by the debatable. So let it be debate. Let it be conflict. Let it be the discussions. Go on discussion. Doesn't matter. But it can't be restrictive type or silence mode. It is not a good practice. So adopt some of the flexible roles should be there, and recognize that such plan changes is not likely, and otherwise it will be weaken the powers. What about the you have a power? So this is the another things. So all are the prerequisite parties. Then bi-party meetings between the union and the management, that is also important. This is a very informative things. So where the information is sharing to each other. This is basically how to improve the mechanism, development mechanism for improving higher relations, industry relations. So when the things are going on, and joint selling, suppose for example, something are likely to be performed, and management union, so better have a joint selling. So you can some one of the employee or participant from the unions, another from the management. So okay, both of you go there and scrutinize the things. You see the what the best can be do for the union, or maybe some welfare scheme or something. So better survey first. So and you have to make some task force also. So the task force results or committee, you can say they made some committee, some panel body where all this should be mixed. It should be a matrix forms. So bi-party meetings are always important. So collaborative projects, suppose anything the projects that should be collaborations by the union and the management and employee, and suppose in the party also, suppose your subcontractors or the suppliers also. So cooperative projects are very effective. Training. Training is also required, because all these things can be possible um, when you are educated or you are knowledgeable. So who can educate it or knowledgeable? Training can provide you actual situations. The training, where in the training all these things concept will be given to you, so that you can have you participate in the next. Grievance mechanisms, because how to handle the grievances, how fast you have to clear up all your past things. That is the art of the different art of the dealing art. So grievances process are. Sometimes it has happened the employees are top some of the grievance. It is very minor in nature. Maybe by the discussion only it can be sorted out. You will not go for the further, it cannot be elaborated, or there shouldn't be any extensions for this. So call the employees, discuss with him, maybe clarify the things. Maybe by the time he maybe withdraw his applications, grievances, and then and there after the convincing the things. So convince mechanisms, there some discussion, counseling, even though some still some of the confusions are there, some not understanding or not conveying the things, then okay, second stage can be there. So there is in the grievance mechanism there should be different levels should be there. First level, second level, third level. As if you see the some of the our judicial systems, then first in the Thana local area, police station. Then after that, if I are passing to the local district court, then from there high court, then finally Supreme Court. So the same thing in the dealing process, the officials, the grievance manager, he should have that type of mechanism should be there so that he can be sorted out in some certain levels that can be sorted out. It should not go all the grievances cannot be to the top levels of management. Final authority not required. Before that, it can be sorted out. So there are participatory forums and counseling and the research is also another part. Counseling is as required because to motivate the peoples and finally to finding the things what is happening going on so that this performance levels can be improved or situations based on the situation. The counseling should be very important part. Business environment and your management challenges are also there. That how to cope up with these. Nowadays, it is you see all the management challenges are there because the emerging trends are there. The main things because of the business environment is different. Maybe the exchange rate are different, or the market value are stockholders. Your stockholders are not happy enough. Your culture is different, so your profitability goes down. So all these affected by the business environment. And training the HRD functions because the HRD is one of the area where you can develop the things and they can focus on the all the employees are they're looking at. HRD is just like a mother. So looking is welfare, health conditions, development, knowledge, training, all these parts, all these functions are all the sections. HRD within the HRD encompasses a lot of things. Even in the R&D training and focus on so that has to be strengthened. And some of these sectorial trends are there. The goal of the HRD is to improve the performance of the organizations by maximizing the efficiency and the performance of the people. Continuous development of the manpower, thus assuming the significance of the sustain of the competitive advantages. Because you see the HRD practices or whatever the things, what are the mechanisms and rule and regulations, it should not be static. It is dynamic because it is a continuous process because you have to change it time to time depending on the scenario. You have to change it because everything are very significant and most of the things you have to sustain in the market in the competitive advantage of things. So most important the strategic sources of the organizations. Systems persistently view the HRD functions of the organizations. That is, there is a lot of subsystems out there which has accomplished to overall the goals of the organizations. The organization interventions is mapping the systems, process, activities of the organizations requires an understanding of the business environment, which influences the business decisions in any organizations. Then business leaders, it should be actually business operation operate in a dynamic environment. Any businesses when you are dealing, then there you are in a dynamic environment conditions, so which has a direct influence on not only how they operate but also how they achieve their objectives. So within these conditions, You have to focus on your objectives and how to only to only to not only the operation purpose. You have to see the profitability also. You have to fulfill your objectives also. So business leaders and the managers do have a control over the internal environment. And but to compete successfully, they should scan the environment and shape their business accordingly to the trends and the possibilities in the business in the given context. Means today's manager or the business leaders, they should focus very much about the internal environment and as well as the external environment also, both the things. Now they have to map out what are the external things are going, what are the trends are there. You have to map it out and finally you have to see, tally with your organizations where the things, just like a lab, overlap things, just like you're mapping the things and where the area you have to develop it, you can map it out. And that area to automatically be identified when your roadmap are already there and where you are, that both the map has to tell it. And finally, you can locate, you can scan the things, then you have to identify and develop the things so that you can be at par with the latest trend of the market. So there are also natural, some of the calamities are there that is unavoidable. Some of the uncertainties, some of the just like a pandemic, we have seen there's the big issues are there, and for that is the effect, is the long-term consequences as well. Even though still some of the countries are facing the problems. So this is the area, and that situation has to be overcome, and that's the VUCA at the times. The VUCA, volatility, uncertainty, complexity, and the ambiguity. And this is the main issues are there. Most of the in our business environment and how to cope up with this. The business leaders are think about this, how to do all these things basically. So basically to shape your business according to the trends and perspectives in the given context. Economic environment is also important because the business gets influenced by the economic factors, as we have discussed. The economic fluctuations due to this, sometimes the business can be affected very much. So opportunities are there, but you have to develop opportunities leading to lower unemployment rates and raising the income. That's why there's a lot of places are job card are there, and maybe the fresh recruitments are there, and old employees are retired or maybe they are forced to lay off or something. So this is going on. So, and another government announcement reducing the interest rate, the home loans, so that the economy can boost up. So time to time, government is also some stimulus package is given, so that economy can boost up. So that is another thing. So the crisis, as we know, the host of institutions. So still loan things, as per the government capacity, they are doing how to revive the situations. So policies are, there are a lot of schemes and policies are already there, and suppose so that everybody unemployment can be one of the issues. So that 100 days work they are given so that they can have some money to survive the things. So that economy can be improved in this way. Suppose their main thing is political willingness, positivity, capacity. All these things part are very important in the HRD. Nowadays, there's a challenge of the HRD department, how to cope up the emerging issues. So, considering all these factors, you have to survive, how to the competitive advantage and all these things. So, in this way, I can finish up today's sessions. So, thank you very much. Thank you.
अच्छा ये राउंड पे कम कर निकाल लेके बनाया आपने आज
ये उस दिन गए थे हम लोग कोई तो पूरी दिन हो गए
गणपति में
एक दिन था बाकी तो सब बेटा बेटा सब
कितने का लेके आई
ये बेटा ने खरीद किया क्योंकि नेगोशिएट करके 1500 मिल गया
बोला ना बोला
ठीक है उतना 2000 का करीब 2000 करीब मंगा था
सर शमी है नहीं अभी
तो नेगोशिएट करके 500 रुपया कटाया पता नहीं क्या है मुझे ठीक है